Hi, I'm Kirk with Stokes Ladders. Today, we're going to go over a side rail repair on a tripod orchard ladder. This particular ladder was damaged in shipping and we got it back, so now we're going to show you the side rail repair on this. Both side rails are actually bent in on the bottom and the bottom step is also damaged. So what we're going to do during this repair is we'll cut these rails off here where they're still straight, here and here. We'll put a piece of inside splice in, a new piece of rail, and a new bottom step. Let's get started. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to measure in between these two steps and pick about the middle point. I'm going to pick about 5.5 inches from the bottom edge of this upper step that is not damaged. We'll put a mark. And same thing on this side. Now we're going to use a square. And we're going to draw this line all the way around the side rail. Now that we've got our rails marked, we're going to cut this line that we've marked on both sides. I'm going to use a skill saw. If you're not comfortable using a skill saw, you can use other power tools. You can use a grinder with a cutoff, a sawzall, or you could even do this very easily with a hacksaw. Now we've got the damaged part of the ladder removed from the ladder. We got a couple more things before we get started. We're going to have to take some of these rivets out and swing these angle braces out of the way to make room for the inside splice to tuck into both sides. Again, removing these rivets, there's a small dimple in the top of the rivet. That's a good place to start with your drill bit. And you'll drill down a little ways, and if you kick your drill bit out to the side, it will usually break the top of the rivet head off. And then you'll be able to see the shank of the rivet to make sure you don't oblong that hole very much. And then we'll just rotate this angle brace out of the way. This tube's also damaged. I'm going to remove it just to get it out of the way for now. So now I'm going to have to go make some more parts. I'm going to need some rails. I'm just going to measure this piece of rail. I got 18 5/8 on this one. And 18 3/4 on this one. So we want to make sure we don't have any sharp edges. So we're going to go around these two fresh cut edges with a file. And these parts we cut, we're going to take them to the belt sander. So what I have is two pieces of inside splice. They have our 18-degree angle cut top and bottom. I've got a right and a left. And I have the two pieces of side rail that I'm going to splice into this ladder. I'm going to take the two pieces of inside splice, place them in the rail just below the step above it. Should have just a little bit of room before that step, maybe an 1/8 inch or so. And now we're going to clamp it in place. When we're splicing a rail like this, a good rule of thumb is you want 3 rivets above and 3 rivets below the splice, front and back of the rail. I'm going to go ahead and do this repair with rivets because we have rivets and rivet guns here. If you're doing this repair at home, you can replace all these rivets that I'm putting in now with small 1032 bolts with nylock nuts. We can provide those with the repair parts. If you are using rivets, going through 3 layers, how I'm going through the rail, the inside splice, and the angle brace with this rivet, you may need longer rivets. They're usually a gold color. You can get those from us as well. So my slightly longer rail goes on this side of the ladder. So you'll notice is when I'm clamping this, I'm clamping it up tight to this edge of the rail. Make sure that inside splice is fully seated inside the rail. And again, we want 3 rivets above and below the splice. When you swing your angle brace back in, don't forget to put this rivet in. Now we got the new rails spliced in. As for hole locations on these, I usually pick about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in from the edge of the inside splice, and then 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in from the edge of the splice area. And then I try to pick the center hole just in between the two for my 3 rivets above and 3 rivets below. Now we're going to get our step in place. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring from the bottom edge of this upper step to the bottom edge of this step, and what I'm shooting for is right at 12 inches. So these parts I'm putting on now, this is a small piece of outside splice. We call it a wear plate. Helps prevent the wear at the bottom of the rail. And this is just a small piece of stepping. We call it a mud stop. Helps the step not penetrate too far into the ground. You can use your damaged part of your ladder that you cut off to figure out just where these go. Or if you've done it a bunch of times like we have, we just clamp them into place. So if you're buying a splice kit like this, we could put this partially together for you. I'll throw in a picture here of a splice kit we've made before. This foot will all be installed. The inside splice will be riveted into the top part of the rail, and then you'll just insert the upper portion of the splice into this cut off good part of the the existing rail of the ladder. So next, we're going to need these holes in the side rail here for this brace. How I'm going to do that is I'm just going to hook a tape measure over the top of the step, measure down to the bottom rivet, and on this one it's about 8 5/8. So I'm going to do that and give myself a mark at 8 5/8 for the lower rivet hole on that brace. When you go to start drilling holes in these steps, kind of look at the orientation of where they're at on the rail. You don't want to drill these holes too high on this step because you won't be able to get your rivet or your bolt in depending on how you're doing the repair. You can always reference the portion of the ladder that you're removing, the damaged portion, to kind of get an orientation on where all these holes need to go. Before you get too far, a good thing to check is down here in this area, make sure that the rails aren't sprung out and you don't have a big gap between the step and the rail. I'll show you a close-up on that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It's about the same, about 8 5/8 from the top edge of the step to the lower rivet hole on this bottom brace. For this measurement, don't go off these measurements I'm giving you on this video. Make sure you check on your ladder to make sure that you're putting the brace back in the same spot, because this distance changes slightly depending on the size of the ladder. Another thing to note when I'm drilling these holes, I'm leaving these clamps on. That keeps all the drilling debris from getting in between the step and the rail or the step and these mud stops. That way when the rivet squeezes, or if you're using bolts, when you tighten them down, you're not going to have a bunch of cuttings in between the, the step and the rail. That'd kind of make a bad connection point. All right, so the bottom of this ladder is all repaired. We're going to throw the tube back on it and wrap this repair up. So that wraps up the repair on this 10-foot orchard ladder. As you can see, the only visual difference is you're going to have a bunch of rivet heads in a row where this splice is riveted in. This is a real good, clean way to repair a damaged bottom of a ladder. And remember, if you run into any hiccups doing any repairs, please give us a call. We'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching, and there'll be more repair videos in the future.